We're going to begin using the term and the value pi quite often here in geometry as we start working more and more with circles. Now pi, not spelled the way the food is, pi in math is pi, and we symbolize it with this Greek letter, pi. Now what pi is a number. And how we originally got that number was mathematicians tried to figure out the relationship between the circumference of a circle. So basically, if I measured the entire way around the circle, the way that we normally think about this is perimeter. But in math, we call the perimeter of a circle, we call that the circumference. Okay? So that's simply what we would have normally thought of as the perimeter. We wanted to figure out the relationship between that perimeter, that circumference, and the diameter of a circle. My diameter, if you can forgive my drawing here, is something that cuts through the center of our circle and hits the two edges, okay? So there are lots of diameters you can do. Of course, these are all diameters. Anything that would cut through the center of the circle and hit the two edges, or hit the outside, would be considered a diameter. So what mathematicians were trying to figure out is, was there a relationship between the diameter of a circle and its circumference? And what we continuously found is that if we took the circumference, C, and divided by the diameter, D, we kept getting the same number, this value pi. Now, pi, if you typed it into your calculator, if you just hit the pi button, you would get something like 3.141592654. I'm reading off a TI-84. And this is a lot of digits of pi, and in fact gives us a lot of accuracy. But pi is what's called irrational. And an irrational number is one that goes on forever and can not be written as a fraction because it does not have any discernible pattern. There's no pattern to pi. Any number that has a pattern in it, we could come up with a fraction that would represent that number. But there are no fractions that we could calculate that would give us the value of pi. Now, obviously, early mathematicians were limited with how many digits they would go out based on the tools they were using to measure. But the more tools we got, the more we could measure, and we found that this number just goes on forever and ever and ever. But I think it's important to recognize that for most of our calculations, you really don't need too many digits to get a nice, accurate, semi-accurate approximation. So oftentimes you'll see textbooks just say, let's use 3.14. That's enough to approximate. So approximately equal to pi. But again, that isn't pi. It's just an approximation that we can use to kind of simplify our answers. So pi, again, is just the irrational number, meaning there is no fraction that can represent it. It goes on forever. That gives us the relationship between a circle's circumference or perimeter and its diameter. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe for more geometry content.